On January 14, 2025, the United States government finalized a significant regulatory measure that effectively bans the sale of smart cars incorporating Chinese or Russian technology within the American market. This decision is rooted in national security concerns and signifies a more aggressive stance by the U.S. in its ongoing technological rivalry with these nations. Overview of the ban. The new rule announced by the U.S. Department of Commerce primarily targets passenger vehicles. It applies to any manufacturer that has a sufficient nexus to China or Russia regardless of whether the vehicles are produced in the United States. This means that even if a car is manufactured domestically, if it contains technology from these countries, it will be prohibited from sale in the U.S. market. The regulation introduces a phased implementation timeline. The software restrictions will take effect for model year 2027, while hardware restrictions are slated to begin in 2030. Additionally, products without a specified model year will face restrictions starting January 1, 2029. National security justifications. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo emphasized that modern vehicles are essentially computers on wheels equipped with various technologies such as cameras, microphones, and GPS systems. The potential for misuse of sensitive data or external interference from foreign adversaries drives this regulatory initiative. Raimondo stated this is a targeted approach to ensure we keep PRC and Russian-manufactured technologies off American roads. The United States has increasingly viewed technological dominance as a crucial aspect of national security. The Biden administration's decision comes amid a broader effort to curb foreign influence and protect critical infrastructure from potential espionage or cyber attacks. Future regulatory plans. In addition to the current ban on passenger vehicles, the U.S. Commerce Department indicated plans to introduce separate regulations concerning technologies used in commercial vehicles, such as trucks and buses. This is expected to be released in the near future, reflecting the complexity of the commercial vehicle supply chain and the need for tailored regulations. Context of U.S.-China technology competition. The decision to ban Chinese and Russian technologies in American vehicles is part of a larger narrative of U.S.-China competition in the technology sector. National Economic Advisor Lael Brainerd noted that China is aggressively pursuing dominance in the future automotive industry. This regulatory move aims to prevent the United States from falling behind in technological advancements and to ensure that sensitive technologies remain secure from foreign influences. International reactions. China's Ministry of Commerce responded strongly to the U.S. ban, describing it as a flagrant violation of international trade rules. The ministry vowed to take necessary measures to safeguard China's legitimate rights and interests. This reaction underscores the escalating tensions between the U.S. and China, particularly in the realm of technology and trade. Conclusion. The U.S. government's finalization of the ban on smart cars containing Chinese or Russian technology marks a decisive step in its efforts to address national security concerns and maintain technological superiority. As the landscape of international trade and technology continues to evolve, the implications of this ban will likely resonate throughout the global automotive industry and beyond. The phased implementation of the regulations indicates a careful approach to balancing national security with the realities of the automotive market. While the anticipated regulations for commercial vehicles suggest that this issue will remain a focal point for U.S. policymakers in the years to come, the recent announcement from the United States to ban Chinese and Russian technology in smart cars has stirred significant discussions and reactions. While the intention behind this rule is rooted in national security concerns, there are several counterintuitive aspects to consider. Counterintuitive information. 1. Economic impact versus security. While the ban is purportedly a move to secure national interests, it could inadvertently harm the U.S. economy. Many American companies rely on Chinese technology and components for the production of their vehicles. This ban might disrupt supply chains, increase production costs, and ultimately lead to higher prices for consumers. Thus, a regulation aiming to protect the economy may backfire, leading to economic strain. 2. Self-sufficiency myth. The belief that the U.S. can fully replace Chinese and Russian technology with domestic alternatives is overly optimistic. The U.S. automotive industry has increasingly relied on global supply chains, including components sourced from Asia. Banning foreign technology does not guarantee that domestic alternatives are readily available, which could lead to delays in vehicle production and innovation. 3. Global competition dynamics. The notion that this ban will enhance U.S. competitiveness in the global automotive market is misleading. The automotive industry is highly globalized, and competitors from other countries, particularly in Europe and Japan, may leverage the absence of Chinese technology to gain market advantage. This could further diminish the U.S. position in the global market rather than enhance it. 4. Technological innovation stifling. By restricting access to foreign technologies, the U.S. may inadvertently stifle innovation. Many advancements in automotive technology, including electric vehicles and autonomous driving, benefit from collaborative developments. Isolation from global tech trends could slow the pace of innovation in the U.S. automotive sector. 5. Public perception and trust. While the government views this ban as a protective measure, public sentiment regarding national security versus technological convenience is nuanced. Many consumers value connectivity and the functionalities provided by foreign technologies. A blanket ban could lead to public backlash against government overreach into consumer choices. 6. Potential for increased cybersecurity risks. The assumption that banning foreign technology will enhance cybersecurity could be flawed. Many cybersecurity threats arise from domestic sources or through vulnerabilities in widely used software, regardless of the origin. By focusing solely on the origin of technology, the U.S. may overlook broader systemic cybersecurity issues. 7. Political ramifications. This rule may escalate tensions between the U.S. and China, leading to retaliatory measures that could affect various sectors beyond automotive. The expectation that such actions will lead to a favorable resolution in international relations may be misguided, as it could entrench divisions and foster hostility. 8. Industry adaptation. The automotive industry is known for its adaptability. Companies may find ways to circumvent these restrictions, potentially leading to a black market for banned technologies or the creation of hybrids that comply with regulations while still leveraging foreign tech indirectly. 9. Long-term viability of regulations. The timeline for implementing these bans stretches into the next decade. This long lead time could allow for technology to evolve in ways that mitigate the concerns driving the bans, potentially making the regulations outdated by the time they take effect. 10. Environmental considerations. The push for domestic technology over foreign alternatives may overlook the environmental impact. Many foreign manufacturers are leading in sustainable practices, and the U.S. may miss opportunities to collaborate on environmentally friendly technologies by isolating itself from global partners. Conclusion. The U.S. government's decision to ban Chinese and Russian technology from smart cars is a manifestation of rising national security concerns and geopolitical tensions. However, the counterintuitive implications of this decision highlight the complexity of the global automotive and technology landscape. The potential economic repercussions, innovation stifling, and public sentiment shifts illustrate that such a unilateral approach may not yield the intended protective effects and could lead to unforeseen challenges in the future, as the automotive industry continues to evolve. The implications of this ban will need careful consideration to ensure that security measures do not undermine economic and technological progress. The new U.S. regulation banning Chinese and Russian technology from smart cars is a significant development in the context of national security and global technological competition. However, there are several important aspects of this regulation that many may overlook, which have far-reaching implications. 1. Definition of sufficient nexus. The term sufficient nexus is crucial in determining which vehicles are affected by the ban. This phrase suggests a broad interpretation that could encompass a wide range of manufacturers and technologies. By targeting any manufacturer that has sufficient contact with Chinese or Russian technology, the regulation creates a significant barrier not only for foreign companies but also for U.S. manufacturers that rely on global supply chains. This could lead to unintended consequences, such as increased production costs and disruptions in the supply chain. The ambiguity surrounding sufficient nexus could lead to a chilling effect where companies might avoid partnerships or technologies that could be perceived as having ties to China or Russia. 2. Impact on domestic manufacturers. While the regulation is framed as a measure to protect national security, it could disproportionately affect U.S. domestic manufacturers who source components from international suppliers. Many American automakers have partnerships and supply chains that extend globally. This ban could lead to a scenario where U.S. manufacturers must rapidly adapt their supply chains, potentially leading to increased costs, delays in production, and an overall competitive disadvantage against foreign firms that may not be subject to the same restrictions. This aspect of the regulation is significant because it brings into question the balance between national security and the economic viability of U.S. industries. 3. Long-term technological implications. The regulation sets a precedent for future technological restrictions, signaling a potential decoupling of U.S. and Chinese tech industries. This could lead to a fragmentation of technological ecosystems where companies can no longer collaborate or share innovations across borders. As the automotive industry increasingly integrates advanced technologies such as AI and IoT, the isolation of the U.S. market from Chinese innovations could hinder technological advancement. The long-term implications of this decoupling could stifle innovation and reduce the competitiveness of the U.S. automotive industry in the global market. 4. Effects on consumer choices. The imposition of this regulation could lead to a reduction in consumer choices within the U.S. market. Many consumers have come to rely on technology-rich vehicles that incorporate advanced features from various manufacturers around the world. With the banning of technologies from major players like China, consumers may find themselves with fewer options, potentially at higher prices due to reduced competition. This aspect is significant because it underscores the trade-off between national security interests and consumer welfare. 5. International trade relations. The response from China, which described the regulation as a flagrant violation of international trade rules, highlights the potential for escalating trade tensions. This regulation could provoke retaliatory measures from China, impacting not only the automotive sector but also other industries that rely on trade with China. The potential for a tit-for-tat escalation in trade restrictions is a critical factor that could affect U.S. economic interests globally. The broader implications for international relations, especially in the context of the U.S.-China relationship, cannot be overlooked. 6. Broader context of national security measures. This regulation is part of a larger trend of increasing scrutiny and regulation of foreign technology in the U.S. market. It reflects growing fears about data privacy, cybersecurity, and the potential for foreign interference through technology. While these concerns are valid, the broader implications of such regulatory measures could lead to a more insular technological environment in the U.S., which could hinder collaboration and innovation. The significance lies in understanding how national security measures can shape the landscape of technological development and competitiveness. 7. Future of connected vehicles and autonomous driving. The timing of the software ban taking effect in 2027 and the hardware ban in 2030 indicates a recognition of the rapid evolution of car technology. However, this also raises questions about the future of connected and autonomous vehicles in the U.S. market. As other countries continue to innovate and adopt these technologies, the U.S. risks falling behind if it restricts itself from utilizing the best available technologies. The implications for the future of transportation, urban planning, and infrastructure development are profound, as the automotive industry is increasingly seen as a cornerstone of modern economies.
Conclusion.
In summary, while the regulation banning Chinese and Russian technology from American market cars is framed as a necessary step for national security, it carries significant implications that extend beyond the immediate context. The potential impact on domestic manufacturers, consumer choices, international relations, and the future of technological innovation are all critical considerations that warrant attention. These overlooked aspects highlight the complex interplay between national security and economic competitiveness in an increasingly interconnected world. The U.S. must carefully navigate these challenges to maintain its leadership in technology while safeguarding its national interests. 1. Scope of the ban. The new regulation specifically targets passenger vehicles under 10,001 pounds that have any connection to Chinese or Russian technology, regardless of whether they are manufactured in the U.S. This broad scope underscores the U.S. government's intent to eliminate potential risks associated with foreign technology in the automotive sector. The phased implementation of software and hardware bans set for 2027 and 2030 respectively indicates a strategic approach to gradually phase out these technologies from the market. This aspect of the ban reflects a growing recognition that modern vehicles are not merely mechanical devices but complex systems integrated with advanced technologies, raising the stakes for national security. 2. National security concerns. The rationale behind the ban is heavily rooted in national security. U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo emphasized that contemporary vehicles are akin to connected computers, equipped with technologies that could potentially be exploited for data misuse or interference. This perspective highlights a critical point in the ongoing dialogue about cybersecurity and the implications of foreign technology in critical infrastructure. The emphasis on protecting sensitive data and ensuring that adversaries do not have access to American roads aligns with broader U.S. strategic interests in safeguarding national security against perceived threats. 3. Future regulatory plans. The U.S. Commerce Department has indicated plans to introduce separate regulations for commercial vehicles, suggesting a comprehensive approach to regulating foreign technology across different vehicle categories. This foresight suggests that the government is aware of the complexities involved in the supply chains of commercial vehicles and is prepared to tackle those challenges in subsequent rulemaking. This proactive stance could influence industry practices and reshape the competitive landscape within the automotive sector, potentially catalyzing innovation and growth in domestic manufacturing. For geopolitical implications, the announcement has generated significant international reactions, particularly from China, which has vehemently opposed the measures, labeling them as violations of international trade rules. The situation illustrates the broader context of U.S.-China relations, particularly in the realm of technology and trade. The U.S. aims to maintain its competitive edge against China's ambitions in the automotive industry, indicating a strategic move to bolster domestic production while simultaneously stifling foreign competition. This dynamic could lead to heightened tensions and reciprocal actions, further complicating global trade relations and technology exchanges. 1. The Montgomery Bus Boycott 1955–1956. This historical case involved a sustained protest against racial segregation on public buses in Montgomery, Alabama. The boycott began after Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger. African Americans in Montgomery organized a year-long boycott of the city's buses, which led to a Supreme Court ruling that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. The boycott was significant not only for its immediate impact on civil rights but also for its role in galvanizing the broader civil rights movement in the United States. 2. The Cold War 1947–1991. The Cold War was a period of geopolitical tension between the Soviet Union and the United States and their respective allies. It was marked by a series of proxy wars, nuclear arms races, and significant ideological conflict. Each side sought to contain the other's influence around the world, leading to significant foreign policy decisions and military engagements. This era saw events such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, The Vietnam War and the space race highlighting the intense competition and national security concerns that defined international relations during this period. 3. The Opium Wars 1839–1842–1856–1860. The Opium Wars were two conflicts in the mid-19th century between China and Western powers, primarily Britain, over trade imbalances and the illegal opium trade. The First Opium War began when the Chinese government attempted to suppress the opium trade, leading to military conflict. The war ended with the Treaty of Nanking, which ceded Hong Kong to Britain and opened several Chinese ports to foreign trade. The Second Opium War further expanded foreign influence in China. These wars exemplified the clash between imperial interests and national sovereignty, with lasting impacts on China's sovereignty and its relations with Western powers. The recent decision by the United States to ban Chinese and Russian technologies in smart vehicles is indicative of a broader trend towards increased regulatory scrutiny and protectionism in the tech sector. As we look to the future, several key predictions can be made regarding the impact of this ban and the overall landscape of global technology competition. 1. Escalation of technological decoupling. The ban on Chinese technology is likely to fuel further decoupling between the U.S. and Chinese tech industries. As the U.S. government continues to tighten restrictions on Chinese imports and investments, China may respond with its own set of retaliatory measures. This could include restrictions on American companies operating in China, further exacerbating tensions and potentially leading to a bifurcated global tech ecosystem. 2. Increased investment in domestic technologies. In response to the ban, the U.S. is expected to increase its investment in domestic technology development, particularly in sectors related to automotive technology, AI, and cybersecurity. This could spur innovation and job creation within the United States, as companies may seek to fill the void left by the absence of foreign technologies. Additionally, government incentives may encourage collaboration between tech firms and traditional automotive manufacturers to develop alternative solutions. 3. Shift in global supply chains. The automotive industry will likely see a significant shift in global supply chains as manufacturers adapt to the new regulations. Companies may seek to source components and technologies from allied nations to mitigate the risks associated with relying on Chinese or Russian suppliers. This could lead to the emergence of new partnerships and alliances within the tech and automotive sectors, reshaping the landscape of international trade. 4. Rise of alternative markets. As American companies pivot away from Chinese technologies, there may be a rise in alternative markets for smart vehicles. Countries in Europe, Japan, and South Korea, which have established automotive industries and technological capabilities, may see increased demand for their products. This could encourage these nations to strengthen their own technological capabilities to compete with both U.S. and Chinese offerings. 5. Technological innovation and competition. The competition for leadership in emerging technologies, particularly in the automotive sector, is expected to intensify. As the U.S. government pushes for advancements in electric vehicles, autonomous driving, and connected car technologies, companies will be incentivized to invest heavily in R&D. This could lead to breakthroughs that redefine the automotive landscape, but it will also result in a race to secure technological supremacy, likely leading to increased expenditure on R&D. 6. Consumer impact and market dynamics. From a consumer perspective, the ban may lead to a reduction in the variety of available smart vehicles as manufacturers adjust to comply with new regulations. This could result in higher prices for consumers, particularly if domestic alternatives are more expensive to produce than their Chinese counterparts. However, as domestic production ramps up, competition may eventually lead to price stabilization and increased innovation within the market. 7. Cybersecurity and data privacy focus. With the emphasis on national security, cybersecurity and data privacy will become paramount in the development of future smart vehicles. Expect increased regulatory scrutiny regarding how data is collected, stored, and used by automotive technologies. Companies will need to demonstrate robust security measures to protect consumer data and prevent potential breaches, leading to a new standard in automotive cybersecurity. 8. Long-term geopolitical consequences. The long-term geopolitical implications of this ban could alter the balance of power in global technology leadership. As the U.S. positions itself against China and Russia, other nations may be forced to choose sides in this technological rivalry impacting international relations and global trade dynamics. This could lead to the formation of new trade blocs based on technology collaboration and security concerns. Conclusion. In summary, the U.S. ban on Chinese and Russian technology in smart vehicles is a harbinger of significant changes in the global tech landscape. The ramifications of this decision will be felt across industries and borders as nations grapple with issues of security, innovation, and competition. The future will likely be characterized by increased domestic investment, shifts in supply chains, heightened cybersecurity measures, and an evolving geopolitical landscape centered around technological supremacy.